Hello my dudes, Rob from OpenSourceEV here, and today we're looking at the Rangefinder key fob surround that we just released. I have one of just about every color, and I want to give you a quick overview, show you actually what the colors look like next to each other, and then we're going to take apart this poor key fob here. It's been apart a bunch of times, and we're going to show you how to install it. So first things first, it's available in a bunch of colors. They roughly are close to what the Rivian colors are, ranging anywhere from your Canyon Red or Canyon Arrow replacement to dark gray, light gray, etc. And basically what you see is what we have, at least as of right now. So the one that is missing is actually the ASA Carbon Fiber one. It will be black just like this. We're just waiting for the filament to come in before we start producing them, which is likely going to be next week. So basically what they are is a plastic 3D printed replacement for the metal surround that is around the key. So you can see it's quite a bit shorter, a bit more narrow, a bit thinner as well. And basically what needs to happen is to put this on here is this surround needs to be removed. There's 3 screws. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. And this just kind of pops right on top. Couple things that are great about it is, first things first, it gives you more range on the locking. So we took 2 different Rivians out, and we had both of them use one of these keys to lock to see how far away from the vehicle you could lock it out. And it was about a little under 300 feet in stock form. When we swapped it out for a plastic surround, it went up by almost 100 feet. So that was kind of huge. It really surprised us, thus the name on it. The second thing is it gives you a really nice area to put a keychain on it. One of the problems that we've encountered here is the locking mechanism for this, the carabiner portion doesn't lock at all. It just sort of pops open. So when, if you have it hung on a purse, or if you have keys on it, it will, if you bump it up against something, this will just pop open really easily and everything will go tumbling off. And that's kind of not good, especially, if you have your keys to your, house on it. Anyway, let's go ahead and replace this with this. Actually, this is the dollar store, or pardon me, Dollar Tree version of the key fob surround. It's actually in this kind of weird green that I ordered in. Doesn't really match anything. It's actually slightly sparkly, if we can get it on camera there, which is kind of weird. I like it, but, everybody else kind of thinks it's weird. So these are $1.95. If you want to take a flyer on one, this is definitely one to go, and I'm going to go ahead and use it to swap this out. So first things first, tools that you'll need. This is a T5 Torx bit. We sell them. They're like $2 or $3 or something along that sort of line. But any T5 will work, obviously. And for the purposes of this, I'm also going to use a flathead screwdriver. Although you really don't have to, it just sort of makes it easy, and just about everybody has one. So, first things first. Let's open this up. You'll notice here that there is a little slot on the top of it that's perfectly designed for this. So you just sort of pop it open. And this is designed to be removed because the battery is underneath. So if you ever needed to replace the battery, that's how you do it. But the other thing you'll be able to see is there's 3 little Torx bits. And that's what we're going to need to remove so we can pop off the metal surround here. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, first things first, let's take out the battery. Set that aside. And let's go. So fairly straightforward. It's like 3 or 4 turns. These are not particularly, they're designed to bite into plastic, so they're not particularly fine thread. They're rather coarse, especially considering the size of the little screw there. Whoop, there we go. And the third one down at the bottom. Okay, so from there, you would think I'd be able to do this more easily, considering I've done it 100 times so far. But that screw doesn't want to come out of there. there we go. Okay, let's set these aside. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so from here, this just more or less pulls right out. So you see how there's a lot more overlap on one side. How you do this is you just sort of spread it open a little bit. And push it right out. There we go. Actually, you push down on this side and it just sort of pops out. And this is all held together. The next thing we're going to do is there is an opening right here. See if we can get that. There we go. And we're going to put the flathead screwdriver in. You can also do it with this if you'd like. And sort of press up and it will just unpop. And what you'll see is it'll separate into three sections here. If you turn it upside down, the board that actually makes up the inside of the Rivian fob will just pop right out. We're going to set that aside for a second. So, a couple things you'll notice. This is the section that actually goes inside of the Rangefinder surround here. And if you look at it, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind here. Number one is there is a weather gasket on the top that would go around where the board normally fits in. And if you look inside of here, there's a locator right there. And there's another small one. Let's see if I can, that's on right over here. There we go. And those are going to be important. So we put the board back in the right orientation. We want to do our best to not really screw around with this gasket. And we also need to note that there is a tab that's sort of on the end here that we need to work with. So the easiest way I found to do this is you sort of insert it like so, right on the end here. Press the gasket in where you need to, like so. So it just sort of falls right in. And then from there, press up. You'll need to press up just a little bit more so it pops up a little higher. And then you can make sure the gasket is nice and aligned. You can see I've sort of torn mine a little bit. That's what happens when you do this about 100 times in a row. And once it's in, you are halfway home. From there, let's put the board back in. Again, remember the little locator? There is a hole that matches up here. There we go. And it just sits right in. From there, you have the portion with the buttons on it. And you'll notice there are 3 areas that screws can go in. 2 on this side here, and another one here. That correlates to the 2 areas here, and then another one down here. And all you do is you sort of set it on top, and it should just snap right on there. Once that's in, you can go ahead and put the screws back in. So let's do that. 1. Be careful not to over torque it. All it has to be is kind of snug in there. Remember, you are screwing these into plastic, so they do not have to be in there particularly tight. Here's 2. Here we go. And here is 3. And this one is the most difficult one. See if I can get that started there. There we go. Rock and roll. Okay. Battery. Boom, back in. And then other plate. Pops in as well. Now, it's important to note, if you look right at the front, see how there's a little bit of a gap? That is to allow you to insert the screwdriver once again to be able to pop this off. That's it. That's the entire installation process. Now, one thing we do want to point out is on the initial units, we're going to be sending a little bit of this. So this is a very small amount of adhesive-backed foam. And the reason why we're sending that is because of all the key fobs we've tested this with, and there's been a bunch, one of them had a little bit more creaking than what we were comfortable with. So we designed a mitigation for that. So you have a little square of foam, and if you look in the very front of the red one here, you can tell that there is a little, let's see if I can get it on video, a little square that it can be put into right at the very, very front of the unit. In all likelihood, you will never have to use that, but we wanted to make sure that if you did, you had this. So expect to see that in the box. If you need it, it's there. From there, you are good to go. So this is Rob with OpenSourceEV. This is the Rangefinder key fob surround. We are super, super proud of it. Please like, subscribe, let us know what you think, and we will hopefully catch you again in the next one.